sucked into my phone again. As you can see, I gave myself a haircut. It's been probably a week since I recorded that video, which I didn't think I was going to record, and now the longer that I have this do that I gave myself, I can tell that I did not do a very good job. It's pretty bad. But, oh man, it's been over a week since I recorded last. Honestly, it's been very emotional the last week, 2 weeks. I mean, this is, let's see, today I have my phone here, so it's June 9th, and when I last recorded a video, that was before the George Floyd murder at the hands of the police and all of the Black Lives Matter protests. And so, yeah, it's like a different world than it was a week ago, or whatever time has passed. It all feels like a blur. And yeah, I've just been glued to my phone, reading as much as possible, sharing info that I think is helpful, things that I've found to be interesting, or new angles on things, learning all about defunding the police, abolishing the police, what it's like for protesters, watching so many horrific videos, also inspiring ones, but so many horrific videos that yeah, you really can't fathom it sometimes until you see it. And yeah, it's scary. It's really freaking scary. And yeah, I think my brain has been at like max capacity trying to make changes and read more and be a better human. Learning about anti-racism and what it means to actually show up for things that you believe in, and not just believing that you can be inactive, or because you're quote-unquote a good person that you're just fine and you can keep living your life, but you have to actually be a part of the change that you want to see in the world. And it's been really amazing, despite how overwhelming and freaking crazy the world has been in the last week. Yeah, I'm just, I don't even know how to fully articulate my feelings. Yeah, we all just have a lot of work to do, myself included, and to recognize privileges that we have, and stand up for what we believe in, and fight, racist and actions that happen against Black people and people of color. And it's so weird because I feel like I don't really have like a platform. I guess I am somewhat publicly. I'm a cartoonist. I post online and whatever. I don't have a huge following by any means, but I don't know if when my book comes out and when my next book comes out, how that might change. And maybe it won't change, maybe it'll change a lot. And I just want any platform that I might have, whether it's small or large, I want to be sure that I'm using it to put good into the world and to uplift others. And yeah, because if I'm not doing that, then I probably don't deserve it. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like my brain has been liquefied for this whole last week. So yeah, I have a lot of learning to do, and yeah, maybe one day I'll have something better to say than just rambling about how insane it's been. And but the changes feel necessary, and so yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I feel really weird that my book is coming out next month. I don't know. It just kind of feels like it doesn't matter. It just doesn't seem all that important by comparison, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to say. I have been talking with doing some sort of launch event on July 7th or 8th for when my book comes out, and my publicist was talking with this local bookstore that I really love called Still North. I don't know if we'll still end up doing something, and honestly I feel really weird about it. I felt really excited like 2 weeks ago, and not that it was anything major, but just, you know, to celebrate the release of the book. And now I don't know, I just feel like it's not something worth putting attention on, and there's bigger fish to fry in the world at the moment. And I'm sure other people would say, oh, you know, it's fine, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I feel weird about it. And I also feel a responsibility to all the people that have helped me on the book and helped put it out into the world, and to just sort of not do anything, that doesn't feel right either. So I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know in this video, but that's just the truth. It feels weird to try to promote something, get people to buy it when they're putting their money into causes and to support people whose, you know, lives are needing it way more than me. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Still figuring that out. And I think I was interviewed today, actually it wasn't for an article about myself, but it was actually for an article about this professor that I worked with in undergrad. He wrote my recommendation letter to the Center for Cartoon Studies. He definitely played a pivotal role in my development as a cartoonist, and encouraging me and other people who we had as students. So it was very cool to be asked to be interviewed for an article about him, and it's how I met my really good friend Ashley Poston, who is a young adult author that I sometimes pops up in my Instagram stories, and I'll tag her and stuff online because we've been friends for a really long time, and we met through this professor, Northrop Davis. And so it was funny to sort of be asked all about like that time, and it's hard to believe that I graduated college 9 years ago. Yeah, that's wild. I graduated May 2011. That's so crazy. It does not feel that long ago. So I recorded the interview, so maybe I'll include some clips from that. And so because the world has been on fire for the last 2 weeks, I did not write like anything with A-OK. I literally, I started work. I got to work on Thursday evening, and then I had Friday off, and I worked on it that day. And I'm in the month of January. I'm almost done with January. So weirdly, I feel like this part of the book has come. This section I was working on just came together a little faster. I still I don't know if I'm gonna meet my July 1st deadline. I gotta email my editor and just tell him where I'm at. And my brain has been fried. There's no way I could focus on it. I feel like it's almost like irresponsible, if I had been in some ways, like to not pay attention to what was happening in the world and not try to educate myself and think about how to be better. And not only for me individually, I was also doing this in relation to my day job, and so my full brain power was being used elsewhere. So the thought of trying to sit down and work on my book and be thoughtful and give that attention that it needs just was not a priority. And Yeah. So that's where I'm at. For grad school at CCS, you're required to do an internship. And I had been trying to intern at a publishing house in New York City, and because my grandmother lives in New Jersey and I could have stayed with her, and I was really trying to do that, and I couldn't. I got a couple of interviews, but I never ended up making it all the way to be like an editorial assistant or intern or anything. And this opportunity came up to be a coloring assistant at this small publisher called Lionforge. And there was a CCS alumni who was a senior editor there who would put the posting up on the school's message board. And I said, oh, I'm interested. I like coloring stuff on the computer. And so they had me test out. They ended up hiring me as their intern. And his name was Adam Staffaroni. And his editorial assistant was somebody named Hazel Newlevon, who was the primary person that I worked with, who sent me the files, and if I had questions, Hazel was the one that would relay them to the artist. So we worked together for the summer in between my 2 years at CCS, and then my internship ended, and Hazel ended up hiring me to do a couple other like coloring things for their personal work, and for a couple of other Lionforge things over the course of my second year. And then after I graduated, so the fall after I graduated, fall 2017, I was tabling at some comic shows with my mini comics, and Hazel was there, and I met Hazel for the first time in person, gave them some of my work. They told me that they had been promoted from editorial assistant to editor, and if I was, I could pitch them a project if I wanted to. I saw them a month later at another show, and I had a color sample from my thesis that I gave them, and they were like, oh, do you have a full story for this? And I said, yes, actually I do. And they asked me to send it to them. And then I sent it to them in December of that year. And then over the course of the next few months, they got back to me and told me that they really liked it, that they were going to take it to be acquired, and that they would let me know what happened. And I was anxiously waiting. And then I was working for CCS, and every year CCS does this event called Industry Day, where we bring in editors, usually a literary agent, editors from large and small presses. Usually there's somebody related to like the comics media world, so like a journalist or a critic. And they do a panel on like the comics industry, and then they have breakout sessions with students. And I had done this twice while I was a student. And it just so happened that year, the editorial director of Lionforge was there. She didn't realize that I was the person whose book they were all reading as part of their editorial meeting. And when I was there, she said, we're making you an offer today on your book. And she told me, she's like, you don't negotiate this deal by yourself, get a literary agent. And there was a literary agent there who I actually really liked a lot. She and I had been chit-chatting, and I just really liked her a lot. I told her the situation, that I had literally just got an offer on this book, and I just wanted to get her advice and like what she thought, because I wasn't sure that she would sign me because I had gotten the deal on my own and all this stuff. And we ended up getting coffee the next day, and she said, I'll read your book, and I really like you a lot, but I want to read your book and see if I think we'd be a good fit. And then yeah, she signed me as a client the next day, and negotiated my deal. And so yeah, it all happened in like the most crazy like 2 days of my life of getting the offer and getting an agent. And yeah, it took a long time to negotiate everything, but it was like I was jumping up and down, and I couldn't sit still, and it was just crazy. Like, you don't know what it's gonna feel like until it happens. It was thrilling.